The first place, if I said society, the first would be your parents. Definitely they are not going to understand because they did not see it coming, because when they first had you, they just see you as a boy or as a girl. So when you have decided to tell mommy I'm not a boy, mommy not I'm a girl, when you identify yourself to the opposite sex, that's going to be a big blow to them, and they would not be ready to accept it. So you're going to face that problem. Secondly, your friends, your peers in school, they are not going to identify your problem because they are not there with you. And secondly, the society, when you walk down the society, there will be a lot of catcalling and provoking you and speaking bad names about you. So these are all the part and parcel which you need to go through. And secondly, there are helplines which you can call, and if you need to get help from them. And but also bear this in mind, not many counselors are actually trained in this area, so you might find yourself being alone, but you just need to make a stand and be firm in your belief and go ahead with the flow and get all the relevant information you want. And being a transgender, you're already being marginalized, and being a sex worker, you're actually going to face marginalization again. But not everyone will be in sex work. Not everyone will choose that path. There are friends whom I've known. They are in many industries. They are in the makeup industries, and some actually study, and some, in fact, they are also in the helpline. But everything comes with a price lah. You need to be, if you know how to carry up yourself well, I mean, the society there is willing to accept you. As for myself, I was actually working in a human resource firm, and when I started with my transitioning, everything was very easy until when I started my hormone therapy. So everything was like changing very fast, and at this moment, my employer, he did not understand what I'm going through. So I was asked to leave the job, and I had nowhere to go. And even I thought of actually lodging a complaint with MOM, but the sad thing in Singapore, we are not covered by the LGBT bill. So the case was not taken, and for the employer to protect his company's name or his prestige, he has the right to not have you work in his company lah, that is alright. Everyone his own opinion, but there are employers who are friendly and they could accept transgender. But it is during the interview, which is very important. You must tell them what you are, and they must know what to expect from you. You can't just put them in a shock. We got to be fair with them. So when I lost the job, I did search for many other job placement, but it was not available. So the only place I had was sex work, and being a transgender and when you're doing sex work, again there you're going to face discrimination and stigma, because clients who come to you, they might not know that you are a transgender, and there are possibilities that they might be violent with you, and you might be a victim of hate crime. And for myself, if you take myself for instance, I was a victim of a hate crime too. I was actually abused by a customer of mine. But when I made the police report, the police they were a bit complacent about my report. They did not take my report seriously, and somehow they actually just tell me to drop the case. But if you think you really can fight for your case, then by all means, there are many NGOs and non-profit organizations out there to help you to take your case and to get justice to you. And secondly, you are a transgender, a sex worker, and this part comes which most of us take for complacency, which is saving. Me myself, I am guilty of that. I do not save much because of the lifestyle I was living. I was putting more emphasis on better house, better clothing, and I did not save. And came one fine day when I got myself in an accident. I was involved in a fire accident. Then I suffered 60% of a third-degree burn. That is where I've learned, how important saving is, and didn't know where to go. The hospital bill was hefty, but again, like I would like to stress on is being truthful to your healthcare, because I was truthful to my health givers. I told them about, okay, I'm a transgender. Why you must tell them that you are a transgender in the hospital is you might have gone for your SRS operation, and by law you are actually female, but when you get admitted in the hospital, you need to reveal your true identity, because medication for cisgendered women and transgendered women is totally different. And I don't know how they calculate it, but it is different, because just in case if you need to go for emergency operation, and if they do not know your identity, the anesthesia will not be enough for your body if you claim to be a woman, and that will cause complication. And I was truthful about my identity and also my occupation, but healthcare will not be compromised. They did not compromise the healthcare given to me, and just because I was being truthful, my hospital bill came up to 200,000. After subsidy was 75,000, and through many interviews and from the social worker and with doctors and the nurses, I actually had all my bills covered. And what we learned from this is we need to be truthful with our health givers, so we could actually get all the benefit we want. And for the police, like I said, we are going to face discrimination. It is their job after all. So when they think that, we chose this path, we are transgender, so when we are different, people do look at us. But that doesn't mean when you walk down the street, where people call you name, you need to retaliate them in a very harmful way, because if you do that, then you are not educating the public. Go and tell them nicely, and yeah, I am a transgender, but don't see me as a transgender, see me as a fellow human being. What you did hurt me. Tell them in a nice way, and I think they would actually listen, and if they are smart enough to understand it, they will understand. But if those who are dumb, they retaliate in a very if they retaliate in a very bad way, don't get into fight with them. Just walk off, and first keep your safety in mind. And if they are still harassing you, call the police for help, because I think as a member of public, that is our right, which we have to be firm with our rights, because police do need to take action.